in a local paper not long ago. They sometimes run editorials from other papers, and they ran one from the Odessa American. And it was about this energy bill that they're trying to push through. And they tell something of what this means. It's a 946-page bill. And other officials said you shouldn't pass a bill that you don't read. Well, this Waxman, a congressman from California, hired a speed reader to come in on the floor of the House and read the bill. No one knew what he said. No one still knows what's in the bill. But this they did say. This is a special interest legislation at its worst, favoring some, penalizing others, under the guise of changing the climate. They say here, it will raise your energy cost $1,500 a year. Gasoline prices will raise by 74%. Representative Fred Barton calculates the effect will be to roll back to the economy level of 1910. It's just almost beyond comprehension how they can push things like this through, and we have to speak up. So I urge you to write letters to the editor, and these numbers that you have on this list of your elected legislators, put them on your refrigerator. Every time you walk by, you'll see them. And every time you hear something on TV that just blows your mind, email them, call them, send them a fax, do something. I don't know how to encourage you any more than we are fighting for our liberty. And if we don't get busy, we're going to lose it. And I don't think you want that for your children and your grandchildren. Republicans always have a booth out there, and we put material out there and give out information, and it's a very important function of the Republican Party.
My name's Patty Jones, and I'm the current secretary of the Hopkins County Republican Party, and I'm resigning because of personal reasons. And right now, Evelyn Hursley's going to take up my responsibility until otherwise voted, and I hope y'all keep her in mind because she's very dedicated and knowledgeable. Okay, the Fall Festival is very important because it's a time where we can get out the literature. We have the masses from Hopkins County go by, so it's your time to grab them. And right now, just this past year, we had a lot of people coming by and asking questions. So the questions are being asked now because this is a Democratic county that think conservatively. And so now the line's been drawn where you're going to have to say, well, I cannot faithfully or legitimately vote Democrat anymore because of what it leads to. And right now you got a state representative, Mark Homer, that does not vote any way you believe. Amen. And so he needs to be outed this next election, and they run every 2 years. We've almost beat them we did beat them in Hopkins County. And so, we just need to get the other counties, and Erwin Cain's working on that to bring counties together, to work together for the same agenda instead of working different in different ways. Well, anyway, y'all need to take, what I'm wanting to do right now is to ask the Ladies Club to take over the Fall Festival because there's no one else to take it. And I think y'all as an organization will do better by it. And you can set up a committee, make it smaller, but it's very important. And this is an off year. We have a primary coming up in 2010 for governor. So we're going to push literature on that race because the Democrats are going to try and unseat him this year. And the money from all these other states are going to come in to do that, too. So we got a fight on our hands there. And our congressional seats are important. They're going to try and take that over. And so we got to be very focused on this. And there's a lot of other things I'm going to get into, but I wasn't scheduled to talk. So please consider taking the Fall Festival. Because right now, and also include the different ethnic groups in this town, because they're Christian, and they're starting to question if they can faithfully continue the liberal agenda. And a lot of them, especially ethnic, Mexican and blacks, are starting to question it, and they're going to have a foundation to turn to that will accept them. Ethnically, religiously, we have to accept them all. And so that's all I need to say right now. So good luck.
I'm Janeria Kessler. I live out in the great city of Arbela. So a lot of you people that live in this city, I don't know. But I think that we as Republicans, and not only as Republicans, but as women, owe a great thank you to Sara Palin. She's not only standing up for her family, she's standing up for women. We have been made fun of at night on the talk shows. Rape is a funny joke on lots of our television. We can't pick up a paper that we don't see where a child has been raped and murdered. I think we as women need to be heard, and I appreciate what she has that she's had the backbone to stand up for her children, but to stand up for women in this country. And if I had her address, I'd write her a letter and say thank you for standing up for all of us. Thank you.
Well, as one of her statements, you betcha. The Fall Festival, this is an off-election year, but one thing that is very important are amendments. A lot of people ignore them. There are going to be some important amendments, and we always, I know that I always contacted the Attorney General, and he would send statements giving pro and con, because if you go to the polls and vote, you don't know which way you're voting, the way they word them. And so that's one of the things we do in the off-election year. In the off-election year, we usually have one space. In election year, we have two. And immediately in the election year, which will be next year, we will move into our headquarters from the Fall Festival. And usually the Republican women staff the headquarters, where you give out campaign material and hand out information. And I know in this last election, there was one young man walked in. He says, "This sure seems strange." I said, "Why?" He says, "I'm a Democrat." But he wanted a Sara Palin sign. We sold him one. But all of these functions are important, and the Republican women are important, and we take the lead. And I just hope that you all are revved up enough to do something. And we will have our next meeting here, July the 20th, 6 o'clock, same time, and hope to see you here.
And it will be cooler.
And it will be cooler, Laquita says.